by most measures, the United States still has resilience, resources, assets that any other country would envy and marvel and aspire to. And we should be more confident in those things. I argued, however, that there were two underappreciated problems America had and two underappreciated strengths. And part of my argument was to say, let's pay attention to these problems which are not as well focused on as they might be, and also look at these strengths to make sure we do nothing to diminish them. And this, as you'll see, has a higher ed payoff. The problems which are related, in my view, were first was an increasing sense that our public institutions cannot measure up to the public problems we have to deal with. If you look at the subjects that dominate the evening news, that dominate campaigns for Congress, that dominate congressional debate as seen on C-SPAN, and you match them with what 20 years from now people will say was the main challenge for America in 2011, it's very hard to see much of the mismatch. And so the question of whether a Senate designed in the late 18th century is up to the tasks of the early 21st century, and related issues of public institutional function, I think, is an important one worth our close attention. As someone who grew up in California, I'll say that the prospects of California over the last several decades are a cautionary example to the nation as a whole, because California is a huge private success and an increasing public failure. We want to avoid that for our nation as a whole, and I hope that California can be a laboratory in that way. The related challenge for the United States, in my view, was an increasing weakening of the fabric that held the country together, a thinning out of the middle, whether economically or politically or culturally or educationally. We recognize that third world societies are the ones where the public middle is weakest. You have rich people and you have poor people, and the public facilities are underdeveloped. That is a kind of third worldism we want to avoid for the United States. And finding ways, again, all of you in educational institutions are an important part of that bulwark. On the other hand, I argue there are these underappreciated strengths of America, which from having spent a lot of my life outside this country, I appreciate more every day by comparison with the rest of the world. One of them, although controversial now in the US, is immigration. I think it is, all of you in education recognize the role that the world's talent base serves for American higher education. There are some people who have said it's a source of weakness for America that half of the members of our National Academy of Sciences were born outside the US. I view that as a huge strength, that we're able to use the world's talent pool as potential Americans to use their energies here. And the time I would start worrying is when those people were wanting instead to become part of the Chinese Academy of Sciences or the German Academy of Sciences. I think that's not likely, but I think that maintaining our attractiveness to the world's talent is one bit of our strength to maintain. And the other, in my view, is related, is higher education. That this is the area where the United States occupies the commanding heights of the world through the systems that you all protect and create and operate. The greatest asset the United States has right now is not our military, nor even our wealth, or other things. It is what you all do. I'm saying this because I'm here right now, but I say this in lots of other venues too.